That summer was supposed to be a memorable trip, but not in the way 6 friends had hoped. They were a close-knit group of college friends who had just graduated and decided to spend a week together at a quaint lakeside cabin in northern Maine, away from the city, with no cell service, no noise, and absolutely nowhere to be found. It was the perfect setting for a truly unplugged vacation, but also the perfect recipe for deadly isolation. The cabin was rented through a little-known booking app. The reviews were a few scattered lines from years ago. The poster was an older woman with no profile picture and a simple email address, no personal information. They left that out. The silver SUV rolled down a dirt road covered with fallen pine needles. The early summer air smelled of rotting wood and moss, cool but somehow damp and oppressive. When they arrived, the house looked like a faded postcard. A pointed wooden roof walls covered in green moss, small arched windows with thick, dull brown curtains and a precarious stone step leading inside. The house was quiet, as if holding its breath. Anna, the first to get out of the car, felt a chill run down her spine. She didn't believe in psychics, but she couldn't deny the feeling. It was like someone was watching from the shadows of the pine forest. "I guess I'm just tired," she told herself, and walked into the house, still clutching the necklace with the small stone pendant, a gift from her grandmother, who believed it protected against bad spirits. Inside the house seemed frozen in time. The smell of old wood and dust hung in the air. The furniture was antique velvet armchairs, scratched oak tables, a grandfather clock that had stopped at exactly 3:17. On the walls were strange oil paintings, mostly portraits, but none of the group recognized the people in them. The eyes in the paintings seemed to follow them every step. Max, the most adventurous guy in the group, broke the gloomy atmosphere with a big laugh. "Awesome, like a horror movie. We can shoot a 1,000,000-view vlog here." No one laughed. The first night they gathered around the fireplace, telling ghost stories like an old game. Lisa, a Reddit collector of paranormal stories, brought up a recent viral topic, lost time in remote cabins. One Redditor shared a strange experience. The group went to bed at 10 p.m., but woke up to find their watches reading 3 a.m., still dark outside, but their phones reading 11 a.m. the next day. Time seemed to be torn apart. No one remembered what happened in that gap. Lisa opened the article on her phone, which she had downloaded because there was no signal. Here she said, her voice trailing off. The narrator ended up in therapy because he kept having hallucinations, and eventually found dried blood under the bed in that house. No one could explain it. Everyone laughed, but the laughter seemed out of place in the large room. The windows rattled slightly, though there was hardly any wind outside. The sudden chill made Anna shiver. She thought to herself, "The story is just a lie." Right, night falls quickly. Too quickly. No one has deep sleep. At 3:17 a.m., the grandfather clock in the living room suddenly started ticking again, making a soft ticking sound like a sigh from underground. Max was the first to wake up to the sound. He looked out the window. The lake was black as a mirror, but there was a figure standing in the middle of the water. The figure stood still, not reflected in the water. No face, just a black figure, as if the light had been drained. He rubbed his eyes. When I looked back, no one was there. The next morning, Max told what he had seen. No one believed him. They thought he had just had a dream. But Anna looked at the kitchen clock and saw something unusual. All the digital clocks were frozen at 3:17 like a pendulum clock. They all stopped at the same time, and no one in the group knew why. They decided to put aside their discomfort and enjoy the summer day. The group rowed out to the middle of the lake, laughing, throwing water balloons and taking pictures. The sky was blue, the sunlight shining on the lake like silver. But when Max reviewed the photos, he noticed something unusual. In one photo, Anna was sitting facing the lake, but behind her, reflected in the water, was another face. Not hers. Not anyone in the group. A long, distorted, pale face with sunken eyes. Max didn't dare tell Anna. He deleted the photo, but the feeling of dread clung to him like the algae that had wrapped around his legs in the lake last night. That evening, as the group roasted marshmallows around the fire in front of the house, Lisa told another Reddit story about the third knock. According to the post, if you hear 3 knocks on your wooden door at exactly 3 a.m., you should never open the door. The knocker never leaves, just stands there, waiting for you to make a mistake. Anna smiled wryly, but couldn't help but recall the night before, when she dreamed of someone tapping lightly on her window 3 times. Then a whisper echoed in her head. Get out. She didn't tell anyone. But tonight she locked the windows tightly and pulled the curtains tight. Little did she know that behind that thick curtain, something was still looking inside. The weather turned cold, even though it was still mid-July. On the third night, a mist crept silently up from the lake like pale fingers finding its way into the house. No one noticed, but at exactly 3:17 a.m., the curtains in Anna's room fluttered gently, even though there was no wind. She woke up feeling as if someone had just whispered in her ear, a dry and whispering voice. Open your eyes. Anna sat up, cold sweat soaking her back. The room was pitch black. No insects, no trees, just complete silence, the kind of silence where you could hear your own heartbeat. She felt like something was in the room with her. Hands shaking, Anna fumbled to turn on her phone's flashlight. The light shone. Nothing but shadows of the surrounding objects. But when the light passed over the small mirror opposite the bed, a blurry face appeared in the mirror right behind her. She turned around. No one was there. But in the mirror, that face was still there, staring at her. The next morning, Anna was visibly tired, but no one asked about it. It seemed like everyone was having strange dreams, but was afraid to talk about them for fear of being labeled paranoid. The atmosphere in the group began to become tense, although no one really argued. Lisa quietly searched for more information about the third knock on Reddit using the offline app. She found an old post posted by a since-deleted account titled "Stay Away from Lost, Cabin 317. In it, the writer described staying in a house just like this one, with a grandfather clock, portraits, and a name mentioned in the lease as Marjorie Feldman. Marjorie Feldman, Lisa muttered. Isn't that the name on the rental email she read on? The article said that Marjorie was an old woman who had lived alone in that house, specializing in communicating with spirits through dreams. According to the story, Marjorie disappeared in 1972 after a failed séance and was never found. Some believe that she sought to connect herself to the time 3:17 a.m. in order to live forever in other people's dreams. The account ended the post with a chilling warning. If you are reading this in that very house, it is already too late. Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. But as she turned to speak to Max, the phone screen went black. The battery died. That afternoon, as the group split up to search for firewood, Kai, the quietest of the group, went toward the west side of the forest, where the trees were charred from an old forest fire. He walked deeper than usual, drawn by what sounded like a soft cry hidden by the rustling of leaves. As he approached a large tree trunk, Kai discovered a cellar entrance covered with old wooden planks, almost completely covered with moss. The ground around it had strange footprints, long and narrow, not resembling human footprints. Kai, driven by a strange sense of curiosity and a strange urge, removed the planks. The hatch opened onto a stone landing, deep and cold. He took out his phone and shined a flashlight. About 10 steps down, Kai stood frozen. On the stone wall were hundreds of handprints made of something that looked like black resin but dried like tar. There were words scrawled in Latin. Dreams are dark. The watchman is still there. Time does not die. The dream is dark. The watchman is still there. Time does not die. Kai turned and ran away. But when he turned back to the hatch, it was closed. From the darkness behind, there were 3 knocks. Soft, regular, very close. Kai was missing for 2 hours. When the group found him, he was sitting curled up on the shore of the lake, muttering, "I saw her. She had no eyes, just two deep sockets and a very long tongue." They took him home, thinking it was exhaustion or mild paranoia. But Anna noticed black tar on Kai's sleeve and a strange scent like burnt wood and old blood. That night they decided to sleep together in the living room to avoid being separated. But in the middle of the night, Max woke up to someone staring at him from the end of the hallway. He thought it was Lisa. But when he whispered, "Lisa, why aren't you asleep yet?" Lisa spoke up, from behind him, still sleeping. Max turned back to look down the hall. The person still hadn't moved, but now he could see clearly there was no face, just a mass of shriveled skin over bones, standing tall arms almost touching the floor. He screamed. The group jumped, but the creature was gone. There was only a water stain left on the wooden floor, stretching from the hallway to the middle of the room. The next morning, Anna tried to open her personal computer, hoping to find more information when she connected to the satellite Wi-Fi. She typed in the keyword 317 Haunted Lake Cabin. The scary result that came up: an old article from 1983 with the headline, "3 Missing from Echo Lake Cabin. Only clock left stopped at 3:17. Attached photo, the same wooden house they're staying in." Anna burst into tears. Lisa, reading the name in the article, simply exclaimed, "Marjorie Feldman." That afternoon, the storm came unexpectedly. It rained heavily, and thunder and lightning seemed to tear the already tense atmosphere apart. The group huddled in the living room, no one in the mood to talk or joke. They sat there silent, each in a corner, their eyes constantly darting around as if waiting for something to appear from the darkness. Kai, since falling into the rock pit, had barely spoken. His eyes were always on the window, and his lips moved occasionally. When Anna leaned in to listen, she was stunned. He was counting the hours, minute by minute, second by second. From 3:17, as if counting down to some moment that mattered. Or terrible. Lisa mustered up the courage to face the truth. She went back to the Reddit post she had read last night and scrolled down to the comments section. An anonymous user had left the last line: "The 3:17 clock is not just a time, it is a break in the dream. After that moment, you no longer belong to this world completely." Another comment, presumably from a survivor: "Don't let yourself be reflected in the mirror after 3:17. If you see yourself but smiling when you're not smiling, run. Don't ask questions. Don't look back." Lisa quickly covered all the mirrors in the house with blankets, but it was too late. Some of the mirrors had faint handprints from inside the mirror surface, as if someone had tried to climb out. As night fell, Kai suddenly stood up, his eyes unfocused, his voice whispering, "She called me. She's down at the lake. She needs someone to take her place." The group tried to hold him back, but his strength suddenly became abnormal. He pushed Max away, kicked open the main door, and rushed out into the rain. They chased after. Amidst the pouring rain, they saw Kai walking slowly into the lake, waist deep, then chest deep, then no more. But beneath the water, they could still see his silhouette standing still, eyes wide, looking up at the shore. Not struggling, not panicking, just stand there and smile. The group returned to the house in a panic. Max was smashing things and shouting, "We have to get out of here tonight." But the SUV wouldn't start. Despite a full tank of gas, a fresh battery, and a key that still worked. It was as if some force was preventing them from leaving. Anna, now the most alert of the group, grabbed Max's wrist and said, "We must understand that this is not just a nightmare. This is a ritual cycle. Each of us has been chosen to take the place of her spirit." She recounted the details she had found. 3:17 was the time Marjorie Feldman went missing. On March 17th, to be exact. Every 17 years she would awaken to select a new group to come to the house. She whispered, "This year is 2025. 17 years since the last disappearance in 2008. Lisa gasped. "So, Where next, no one answered. That night they sat close together, not daring to turn off the lights, but light could not protect against the things that were creeping through the cracks of reality. 3:16. Max checked his watch. The minute hand was moving very slowly, as if delaying the inevitable. 17. All the lights in the house went out. In the darkness there were footsteps. Not hurried, not urgent, squeaking lightly on the wooden floor like someone walking barefoot dragging their fingernails. Max turned on the flashlight. The light shines out. A face. No eyes. No nose. Just a mouth. And that mouth is smiling. Anna screamed, grabbed Lisa's hand, and ran upstairs. They ducked into the bedroom and slammed the door. Max couldn't follow. From downstairs, all he could hear was the echoing screams, and then silence. Anna took out her phone and turned back to the last text message she had received from her grandmother, a former medium in Vietnam. Old message. But now it's clear, if the soul does not transcend, it will live in the gap between dream and reality. Do not be drawn into the dream of the dead. That dream will become your reality. Lisa, trembling, asked softly, "So what should we do now?" Anna looked out the window. The lake was boiling, as if something huge was rising from the depths. At that moment, the door opened by itself, even though it was locked. There was no one outside, just an empty hallway, and a mirror at the end of the hallway. In the mirror, Anna and Lisa saw themselves standing, but the version in the mirror didn't look like them. Anna, in the mirror, whispered, "This dream is not over. You have just begun." Anna and Lisa stood transfixed by their distorted reflections in the mirror at the end of the hallway. On the other side of the glass, their duplicates remained in the same position, but their faces were gradually distorted. Their sunken eyes turned black. Their mouths curled into a smile that stretched from ear to ear, their teeth jagged like rusted metal. Lisa tremblingly grabbed Anna's hand. "Turn off the lights. Turn off all the reflected light." Anna nodded, reaching out to tug on the ceiling light cord. Dark. The entire hallway was plunged into darkness, save for the pounding of their hearts. But in that darkness, they could still feel the gaze, not from behind, but from within themselves. From the deepest part of my mind, something was crawling out. Downstairs, the light suddenly came back on. Not the warm light from before, but a sickly white light, like in a morgue. The room was silent. Max's body had disappeared, leaving only a trail of blood in the shape of 3 interlocking circles, a pattern once drawn in an ancient ritual of European mystics, the so-called opening door to the middle world. It is not a symbol of death. It is a symbol of exchange. Anna began to piece together the signs. One disappears. One will be replaced by a reflection. One will be a vessel. One will be taken to a deeper level. She and Lisa went down to the kitchen. The stone countertop, dusty from the first day, was now hand-painted. Kai, Max, Anna, Lisa, 4 names, 4 arrows pointing to 4 circles. Each circle bore the name of a star: Antares, Betelgeuse, Algol, Aldebaran. Lisa whispered, "Algol, the demon star." In ancient folklore, Algol is also known as the head of the demon, a star that symbolizes a severed spirit existing independently of the body. Entities can exist in reflections, in dreams, and in the minds of the living. The knock sounded. 3 sounds. Clear. Right at the front door. Anna and Lisa froze. The Reddit post still echoed in their heads. "If there are 3 knocks at 3:17, don't open the door. Even if it's your loved one. Even if they call your name." The knock came again. But this time, there was a voice, Max's voice. "Anna, open the door. It's me." Lisa shook her head vigorously. "It's not him. It's not him anymore." The voice outside became distorted like Max, but not. As if an AI was learning to imitate human speech, off-key, off-emotion, open. The door, it is me, Anna. the knock repeated. Not 3, 9. 3 times 3. Lisa sat down and muttered, 3 times 3. The ritual is complete. If we open. Just then, the door opened by itself. There was no one outside. Only Max's face hung in midair, disembodied. His eyes were colorless, completely white. His mouth stretched all the way to his neck, and his hair was growing backwards as if being pulled upward by some invisible force. Lisa grabbed Anna's hand and ran towards the basement where old things were kept. They hoped to find a clue or anything that could seal the door that was slowly opening. The basement was damp-smelling of moldy wood and damp earth. In a dark corner, they found a wooden chest locked with a rusty metal padlock. Lisa slammed the axe into the lock. The chest swung open. Inside, they found a handwritten notebook in black ink, the Marjorie Feldman ritual. Book a small mirror engraved with the sun and crescent moon symbol. A straight razor blade stained with dried blood. A necklace made from human teeth. Anna trembled as she turned the page of the book. Front page. To anyone reading this, if you are here, it means my soul has not been taken yet. I did not want it to be, but a part of me has been permanently imprisoned at 317. The following pages chronicle the seance Marjorie's failure and how she was split between the mirrors in the house. Each mirror was an imperfect copy of her spirit, and over the years they learned to find their own replacements. The only way out, she says, is to break all the mirrors in the house and at exactly the 317 moment say the exact sealing phrase, awakened in the darkness. I am not yours. Return the shadow. Return the time. Silence. Lose the name. If it fails, the house will lock the cycle, and the living soul will forever repeat the dream Marjorie created. A dream with no end. Anna and Lisa rushed upstairs, smashing mirrors and panes. Each time they broke, they heard screams not from human mouths, but from somewhere far away, deep echoing through the space, like parts of souls being expelled. 3:15, 2 minutes. There was only one mirror left, the biggest one in the living room. But that mirror no longer reflected them. Only Max's reflection standing behind them, eyes blank and smiling. The last mirror remained intact, shining as if it had been the centerpiece of the entire ritual. Anna and Lisa stood facing it, panting, cold sweat breaking out across their bodies. Reflected in the mirror, not them, but Max, still standing there, smiling, his eyes white and lifeless. But what was more horrifying was that behind Max in the mirror stood Marjorie Feldman. Her long white hair was disheveled, her skin was wrinkled like burnt paper, her mouth was torn as if it had been torn by hand, and around her neck was the necklace made of human teeth that Anna had just found in the trunk. Lisa panicked. If that reflection is no longer us, then we have been partly pulled in, Anna whispered. We must not let it close. We must not let the mirror hold our being. She pulled a rusty razor from her chest. Her hands shook, but her eyes burned with determination. 45:15 seconds left. Lisa stood behind, holding her notebook. She had memorized the sealing phrase. Anna raised her knife. 17. The mirror shook slightly like a lake with rocks thrown into it. Anna screamed, awaken in the darkness. I am not yours. Give me back my shadow. Give me back my time. Be silent. Lose your name. She slammed the knife into the mirror. The shattering sound was like a scream, but not from the mirror. From all over the house. The walls cracked. The floor shook like an earthquake. The portrait frames on the walls fell one by one, and in a flash, all the faces in the paintings turned to look at them. The mirror cracked into hundreds of pieces, each piece floating in midair for a moment, reflecting different scenes. Kai was rising from the bottom of the lake, eyes wide open. Max hung upside down in the dark clouds, weightless. Marjorie stood in the middle of the fire, laughing endlessly. Then it all fell apart. A white light swept through the living room, blurring everything. Anna screamed in pain. Lisa clutched her hand, but for a moment no one knew who was who. They felt as if their bodies were being sucked out of physical space, floating directionless, shapeless. Voices, cries, laughter, dozens, hundreds of sounds mixed together in their heads. Already. Silent, birds singing. The sunlight came through the window. Anna opened her eyes. She was lying on the sofa in the living room, the wooden house, bright, normal, clean as if nothing had ever happened. Lisa sat next to her, still holding her hand, her face in shock. We are still alive. Anna looked at the clock on the wall. It read 7:41 a.m. Not 3:17. They ran outside. The SUV was running. There was gas, no blood, no mirrors, no sign of Max or Kai. Neither of them said anything, just got in the car and drove away. Neither looked back. 1 week later, Anna sat in her room opening her phone. She intended to delete all the photos she had taken in the cabin. In the photo folder, there was only one photo, left a group selfie from the first night, all 6 of them smiling by the fire. But when she zoomed in on the photo, she saw something was wrong. Behind the pine tree, hidden in the darkness, there was a tall, thin figure. Not Max, not Kai, not anyone in the group. And that person is looking straight into the lens. Last note in Marjorie Feldman's notebook: I'm no longer myself. I'm only a repetition. Those who saw me took me with them. A month after their terrifying vacation, Anna and Lisa returned to their normal lives in the city. They avoided mentioning what had happened. To those around them, they would simply say that Max and Kai had separated after an argument and were unable to be contacted. No one suspected anything. They had left for a place with no phone signal, no cameras, nothing. But they both knew they didn't really come back intact. One night, Lisa woke up to a soft knock on her door. 3 hours. She lay still, her heart pounding. A whisper came from the door: "I'm still here. We're not done yet." She jumped up, opened her phone. The clock read 3:17 a.m., even though she set her alarm every day for 7 a.m. She was never late. Lisa rushed to the living room, turned on all the lights, turned up. The music turned on the TV as if all the noise would keep this reality from drifting into another realm. For a moment, she saw her own reflection in the turned-off television screen. But in the reflection, Lisa was smiling. A smile that wasn't hers. Anna was different. She began to have recurring dreams. She stood in front of a lake. The water was clear as a mirror. But every time she looked down, there was no reflection. Instead, there was the face of Marjorie Feldman, her mouth always moving, saying something, but she couldn't hear it. One day, Anna invited a friend who worked in the spiritual field to her house. She brought incense and energy-sensing tools. Just entering the house, she stepped back, her face pale. There is a part of this space that is not of this place. It was brought from somewhere far away. Its is not closed. Anna asked her if she could solve it. She just shook her head and said softly, "This is no longer a soul. This is a memory of another realm. Once you see it, touch it, it will follow you like a shadow follows the light." Both gradually understood that their escape from the cabin that year was only temporary. What remained was not Marjorie, but a part of themselves. Then something strange happened. An email was sent to the old mailbox the group had used to book the cabin in Maine. From Marjorie.Feldman, outlook.com, theme. It's time again. Content in just one line. We need a replacement. Have you chosen anyone yet? Anna read the email with cold hands. She had never shared this address with anyone outside the group. Lisa checked the sender's address, but there was no location information, no IP, no host. A ghost email, but it existed. A day later, Anna receives a text message from a group of old classmates. They are planning a summer trip to the lake. Lisa exclaimed, "No, not again." But fate has begun to turn around. The trip organizer shared the cabin rental location. A link appears, Echo Lake Cabin, Maine, and below is the only comment in the review, the dream is always waiting when you're ready to step back in. Anna and Lisa are at a crossroads, running away forever, living in fear, waiting for the day to be pulled back. Or go back, face the root of that darkness again. Maybe break the cycle. Lisa whispered. Maybe it doesn't end, because it needs someone to end it. Anna nodded. Her eyes no longer held the fear they once held. It was like someone who had been through hell and learned the language of demons. 3 months later, a silver SUV rolls down a mossy dirt road in Maine. The wind blew through the pine forest. Echo Lake was as calm as a mirror. The old wooden house appeared unchanged. Anna and Lisa got out of the car. In the trunk, they carried a small package wrapped in red cloth, containing broken pieces of mirror, a necklace of human teeth, and Marjorie's old ritual book. No one said anything. They just walked into the house and closed the door behind him. The wooden door behind them closed with a heavy click. Not a normal door closing, but a sound that sealed a space like when you enter a tomb and the archway automatically closes behind you. Anna and Lisa stood in the cabin's living room again. Everything was exactly as before, the old velvet armchairs, the grandfather clock standing still at 3:17, the portraits on the walls, the strange spiral-patterned carpet. No dust, no cobwebs, no sign of time passing. It was as if the house had stood outside the flow of reality, waiting for the right moment for them to return. Lisa walked to the wooden table in the middle of the room and placed the red cloth package down. She opened the cloth, revealing the contents inside Marjorie's ritual book. Now dark red, looked as if it had been soaked through with blood. The broken pieces of mirror from last time. The human tooth necklace now vibrates gently as if in the wind, even though the house is completely closed. Anna took out the notebook and opened it to the last page. The text is partly blurred, but still readable. If you want to break the cycle, you must reverse the necromancy ritual. But remember, there is a price to pay. Only one of the two will be able to come out with the body, the other will be the last closed door. Lisa glanced at Anna. Both understand. This is not a two-way journey. They began the ritual at exactly 3:00 a.m., placing 4 pieces of broken mirror in the shape of a 4-pointed star on the floor, sprinkling salt around the perimeter, and placing the notebook in the center. The rosary was worn around Lisa's neck as a symbol of connection to the spirit world. Anna lit a black candle made of beeswax, mixed with blood musk. The flame flickered, casting long shadows on the ceiling. A strong, spicy scent drifted in like burning death bark and human hair. Lisa began to recite the incantation in reverse order of the seance. I do not come to invite. I come to end. Every name, every shadow retreat. Return. At exactly 3:17, the pendulum clock automatically started moving again. The air in the room became thick, as if covered by an invisible gel. Whispers began to drift around them from nowhere. Why did you come back? You belong here already. We exchanged. There is no return. The wall began to bleed tiny cracks like broken veins flowing dark red. From the remaining mirror at the end of the hallway, Max's shadow stepped out, but he was no longer Max. His face was unnaturally elongated. His feet were walking but not touching the floor. His mouth was open soundlessly. Lisa stepped forward, spreading the human tooth beads into a sealing ring. She shouted, "We are no longer substitutes. Give us back our silhouettes. Give us back our bodies. Give us back time." The air exploded as if it had been compressed for years. The last mirror shattered, shooting out hundreds of shards of blue light spinning in midair like wide-open eyes, watching everything. Anna could see Marjorie Feldman twitching in the swirl of light. Her face changed, young, old, half-human, then Kai's face, then Max's face, and finally, Lisa's. Lisa fell to her knees. Her hands were bleeding from every fingertip. She turned back to Anna, smiling, but this time it was a sad, accepting smile. You have to be the one to go out. I have always been the one to carry these things. I'm the last door." Anna burst into tears, hugging Lisa tightly. But the ground began to crack. Red cracks, like lava, opened in the middle of the room, and darkness swallowed Lisa along with all the sacrifices. Finally, only a single whisper remained echoing through the empty cabin closed. The next morning, Anna opened her eyes in the middle of a peaceful forest. She was lying on the dewy grass about 500 meters from the old house. No more cabins, no Echo Lake. Nothing, just pine forests, sunshine, birdsong, and cool breeze. Her wristwatch read 7:00 a.m. Anna walked each step light, as if she had just been born from a cocoon. She no longer felt afraid, no longer felt like she was being watched. She was the one who stepped out of the dream. But when she reached the edge of the forest, she saw a small wooden sign stuck in the weeds, written in white chalk. "Every time you close a dream, you open another door." Below that, a smaller line carved with a knife. "See you when 317 comes back."